Let's Okay, so this is episode, I believe it's episode 3, right? I mean,
The Squire.
honestly, it feels like a lifetime with this show, and I don't mean that in like a disparaging way. I don't mean that like, I don't mean it like in a January kind of way. We feel like there's 687 days in January. Like, I feel like we good on the writers in the fact that they're adapting it straight out of the book, like we talked about last time with the dialogue. But I feel like we've already gotten so much,
Yeah, no, we
and
have.
it's
And this week
great.
episode premieres early. It premieres on Friday because they don't want to
Because
compete with the Superb Owl Bowl. So,
and the opening of the Olympics.
yes, I am only annoyed because I will be at the Fox Theater on Friday night, so I won't be able to watch both of them, which it's fine. Alicia Keys' play better be good. But it's
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So episode 3, I'm sure you can look up what the name of the title
The
of that.
Squire.
Okay, the Squire, which I love the beginning of this episode. It was probably like again, they have not missed on these opening scenes, and we get a really good look at it. I mean, I he's just so he's just like a little puppy. Like I just
Yes.
want to like put him in my pocket. Like he's I know with like it's very hard like with the Epstein stuff that's come out lately, like to not talk about kids be like he's so yummy because like they were eating children. But I mean like aside from that, but like I don't want to say anything that's like can be like but I mean
Right.
we know where I'm coming from. Little Egg is so adorable that I
Yes.
just want to just pinch his little cheeks and just keep him like put a little bubble around him and keep
Yes,
him from
keep him
all
safe.
because he is so excited about his squiring duties and
Yes.
the tournament that's coming up, the jousting, that he is after watching it, he is so worried about how is he going to get the sword to Sir Duncan the Tall, and he takes it upon himself to train this horse out in the meadow early morning. And I know you saw the same tweet that I did about that even the horses feel like a character
Yes.
in the show. And
100%.
they won't confirm or deny. At least the horse trainer has not said or come out denied it or said it that whether or not he taught the horse to nod during Aegon's little eggs his conversation with them where
Yeah.
he shakes his head a few times and then when he's saying things that he agrees with like the horse his horse Thunder actually nods his head in agreement with him. Love that opening scene. Like texted my daughter because she actually doesn't watch the show, but she just sends me like Dunkin' Egg TikToks all the time because she loves him so much. She doesn't even know about. And I said, just please, just whatever you do, the first 14 minutes of this episode, just
It
sit
was
down.
so good.
Again, anybody out there that hasn't seen the show and you're just like you just come across this random, just watch the first. You don't have to watch any other episode. Just watch the first 14 minutes of this and tell me you don't fall in love with this kid.
Right. No, he's great. It just the energy he brings, this sincerity. That scene was great. And again, I went into this episode wondering like what are they going to do? Last time we got him and his extra sword. We got the poop tree in the first episode. So I was like wondering what are we getting? And then it was just that wholesome scene with him and his horse and I was like, okay, that was like the best scene of the series so far.
So cute that he's taught Thunder how to ride hard at his little high pitched command,
Yeah.
which is going to be a different voice than he hears anywhere else in that tourney. Like like his everybody else is a low, they're adults and they're low, but he's taught him to respond to his little high pitched squealing. He's running with the sword, which is like twice the size of him. He's out there doing um Avatar Airbender moves out there with
Yeah.
intuition. It's so adorable. Love that scene so much. And we come across, I believe his name is Sir. Ooh, I'm gonna blank the one-eyed guy who is going
Yes.
to Sir Robin Riesling, who's actually going to factor in later when we discuss what's coming down the pipe, down the pike.
Down the pipe, because I call it like a pipeline. So down the pipe. That's what I could be wrong. I say down the pipe.
Like so, yeah, he runs across him, is accused of stealing the horse, and they obviously he doesn't take him too seriously because nothing happens out of that. But
Here's the
I
thing. Everyone that knows me knows I have a thing about eyes. I have been very vocal about that.
forgot about that scene.
Yes, I just he's got his eye patch, and I was like, oh, something happened to him. And then they show it, and I'm just like, why is it always the eyes? Ugh.
There's been a lot of Igor
Yes.
lately, yes, with it and oh gosh, what else do we see
Well,
that
I mean, just the thumbs from Game of Thrones, like that still keeps me up at night. So,
yes, yeah, yes. Oh yeah. Well, yes, the squid eyes from or the snail eyes from it.
ugh.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
go ahead.
sorry.
Anyways, yeah. So we go Robert Riesling. This is the opening scene. We spend a lot of time watching Dunk and Egg bond, them making
Yes.
sandwiches, them just enjoying themselves, them ribbing each other, them really, they really did a good job setting up how the end of the episode is so impactful because they have such a tight bond already. Like it's
Yes.
very much those two kind of already becoming their ride and die for each other. The teasing, him teaching him just like all the things a gentle, like in a gentle fatherly way. And you can tell that Aegon is really eating this up because there's clearly something that he is lacking in his family for him
Yes.
to want to run away, to say he doesn't really know his father. You know, he said, "Do you know your father?" And he's like, "No, not at all." You know, there's a gap there that Dunk is filling for him, and it's really precious to watch. And we get more jousting.
Yes. That was a lot, and it was interesting because Egg was front and center with his little shiny head, which was interesting because he was hiding from the Targaryens previously, but he was front and center watching all of that violence. And it was funny because during the episode, Sarah turned to me and was like, "That's wild that like they have the kids just sitting there watching it." And I nodded, and then I said, "How is it any different from us going and having said watch football every Sunday?" And she's like, "Well, no, that's different." I was like, "Is it? I see grown men just full head of steam hitting each other, watching their knees get bent backwards." And she's like, "Okay, but still." And then obviously it gets more violent in the jousting, but
Right. Yes. I mean, we even hear Aegon scream for the death of his brother.
yes,
Yeah.
that was something. Also, you can tell when the real money shows up because you've got all these different knights, and then when the Targaryens, he's got a velvet cape. His helmet is all black and just looks cooler than everyone else's. His shield is rippled. Like they did a very good job in that scene of showing you like this is where the money is because
Right.
him compared to everybody else, he was just like a class above.
Right. And they are trying to regain their standing in the kingdom because of their lack of dragons. Like people are
Yes.
starting to wonder why or what is so special about you that's, you know, that you're even in power. So we have that, and we have Arian realize that his father is not there, and his
Yeah.
father is pretty much the only one that keeps him somewhat contained as far as behaving well in front of people. And when he notices his father not there is when he decides to, which was one of the most upsetting scenes for me. I know the eyes are the upsetting scene for you. Any kind of time that there's an animal that is severely injured upsets me. The lance through the neck of the horse and the squealing and the like that.
That was rough. That was yeah, and you kind of saw it coming because the Targaryens, those are sneaky, conniving bunch of people. So when he says he's too low, I immediately knew what was about to. Like as soon as he said that, I thought he's going for the horse. And then obviously they did, and like yeah, that was rough. Not as bad as the eyes for me, but that was rough.
Yeah, and to the point where, like, again, once it shows once again how innocent Dunk is because he's like, oh, you know, like that's such an unfortunate accident. And
Yeah.
Aegon's like, was it? You know, like my brother's kind of, you know, he doesn't say it, but in his brain he's thinking, my brother's kind of an ass. You know, like
And
I
like you
know,
said, he yelled, "Kill him!" when they started. Like he knows who his brother is.
right. And you hear him like plainly stated at the end of this episode. So it's like, he's very much like, was it like,
Yeah,
and it's so interesting to see that Dunk just would have no idea that those people of honor can be dishonorable.
right.
Like that just doesn't even enter into his brain, which shows you later on that it, thankfully he'll be like an honorable, like a king's guard.
Well, it's because the definition of a knight means so
Um,
much to him. Like,
right,
obviously, you look at the real world, people in any profession can have a title that is supposed to be honorable and not be, but Dunk is so innocent and so sheltered and has such a certain view of knights that it never even entered his consciousness that a knight would do something like that.
right. So dishonorable in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Um, so we have Dunk have a sit. I mean, they do talk about like there's once again there's very much a lot of bawdiness in Robert or not Robert, but Lord Baratheon's tent where they're talking and they're singing about a girl named Alice who has missing two
Yes.
fingers and she sticks them up butts and
Yes.
I love that Egg's sitting there and he's like finding hope in this song and yeah, it's a cute little moment once again, just showing them sitting there bonding. I always love the juxtaposition of how they always show how big he is to how little Egg is. When like
Yes.
Dunk can be damn near sitting on the ground and Egg can be sitting on a table and they're just finally like I love how they frame those two
Yeah.
constantly in that. Any takeaways that you got from that scene?
The scene in the tavern with
Yeah,
them, I think it showed Egg, even as a child, has a different view of the world because he's coming from a different a different place. Like we talked about how Dunk was so shocked that a knight could do something dishonorable, and Egg was like, yeah. And again, even if it wasn't his brother, Egg has seen so much more of the world. He's seen so much more of people. So when he looks at this song and talks about it, what he takes away, it just shows their different mindsets of life, and just their dialogue back and forth. I have always really just appreciated. But yeah, in that scene, it really just drove home how much more life Egg has experienced at such a young age compared to Dunk, who's, I don't know, twice his age, three times his age, but hasn't experienced life. So he like, and he hears it, he's thinking like this, and Egg, because he's seen so much, is coming from different angles. I think that they're framing up the experience versus age thing, but flipping it, and they did a really good job with that.
and showing how much empathy he has at a young age
Yes,
compared to the rest of his like considering the family that he's grown up in.
for sure.
But at least right now we see him more seeming like his uncle Baylor than his actual father Makar. Like
Yes.
it's there's something that he's gained that he's just wanting. Maybe it's because he's so ignored because he's fourth down the line as far as Makar, which makes him I think like 11th down the or what
Right.
something seen that he just at least has he just has the time to observe the world around him, whereas maybe the rest of them don't. And I'm not saying that as an excuse, but just maybe where at least he's coming from. And then we have the conversation between Raymond Fossaway, I believe, who's like a house cider. I believe it's the Apple House.
Yeah, the Apple House.
Raymond Fossaway and Dunk about the Targaryens, which is again, it's for anyone again that know. Like I will say, I was shocked that we got the reveal at the end of this episode. I expected at least a one or two further down, but then
Same.
knowing what's coming now or what's coming next, it's like okay, they needed time for this. But just Raymond just talking about like how they're inbred, incestuous, they're terrible people, they're just awful, 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 and knowing, or at least for those who didn't know, and know when you find out who Egg is, it's that whole again the
Yeah.
juxtaposition of him saying like they're all terrible, and he's kind of like cluing Dunk into again Dunk being thinking that everybody's honorable and all these you come from a great house and you just must be a great person. And because I've been taught that through Arlen to serve these guys, and that you lay down your life because there's nothing more honorable than being a knight, whether it's a hedge knight or a Kingsguard. And him kind of getting like a glimpse behind the curtain of how kind of like the rest of these royalties see this family.
Yes. Yeah, that was a good one. And I mean, again, us being a part of that universe for so long, all the stuff he's saying, I'm like, even when we root for them in the different shows, I'm like, he's not wrong. Like I'm like checking the boxes, like, yeah, that's true, that's true, that's true. But yeah, it's funny having a 30,000 foot view, listening to him talk about it, and again, Dunk being so sheltered, not knowing any of this. It just they have done such a good job making him an innocent, pure knight, but him interacting with everyone else who has seen more, and not just Egg, who comes from a royal family, but just regular knights who have seen more of the world are like, dude, you
Right.
have no idea. Like, again, that's just where the writing, the dialogue has been so good, where they frame the two different life experiences and have them kind of talk, and you kind of just see Dunk's face, like whether he believes it or not, you just see the realization of like, oh, oh, and then obviously what happens with the play, which I thought was great. I literally said that's some practical effects right there.
Right.
Stab the dragon, like the rose petals come out in the fire. So there's no CGI there.
No CGI there. And what was also interesting about that scene, so what you have is you have because I think that you kind of get the sense that Egg is a little nervous that Raymond Fossaway might recognize him. So he's like,
Yes.
can I go see the puppet show while you guys do whatever you're gonna like, like I'm gonna take off over here. And while Egg is watching the puppet show, Prince Arian shows up as well and takes exceptional or great exception to the fact that a dragon is slayed after he kind of already was humiliated out on the tourney field when the common folk turn against him because you can
Yes.
even see Baylor like, oh my, like we're
The
trying to
mob
do the
came
best
after.
right, and you couldn't even behave that long, and so it's like we're trying to regain our standing in society. You act like an ass. The people now look down on us so much that they had no compunction about throwing like maybe even horse poop at
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah. They did not care.
no, and they stormed the field going after you because you showed such dishonorable behavior on the field. And so he's already salty. He's not liking it. You can already tell that he's probably just a jerk to begin with. They do a really good job. Again, that goes to show you how good we're 3 episodes in, and you knew instantly with his interaction with Dunk, with him just even mistaking him for a stable boy, that you're like, this guy's just,
Yeah. Yep.
like, so takes great exception to seeing Tansel stab the fake dragon, the puppet dragon, and kill a dragon after he's been humiliated. He gets very angry and takes it out on her. I turned my head during the finger breaking scene. From my understanding, a bone came out. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I watched it because, I had already been tortured enough earlier in the
Right.
episode. So for me, seeing a bone
Like
pop
what
out of a finger is nothing.
you're like,
But
what could they
yeah,
do to me? How could they hurt me any more than they
right. But yeah, that was, I mean, he snapped her and himself and her finger, but like it was a play. And I realize, plays can be insulting. We saw that, I think, in the previous shows as well, but he did not care. Again, surrounded by the exact same people who had rushed the field hours before, he didn't care, and it just shows the arrogance of the Targaryens. Like he was fully convinced that he could go up there, grab her, do whatever, and no one would do anything. And to his credit, almost nobody did.
Well, he did have his Kingsguard. I mean, he had a certain amount
That's true. That's
of
true. Yeah.
security with him because they were like throwing over the fire outside even the tent. Like they were
Yeah.
all crashing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like he felt, I think it probably at that time was let anybody come after me. And you're like, I've got my help here, which is why you see Aegon right as kind of right before Raymond talks about the rest of the Targaryen family and everybody that's like, this is who this is, this is who this is, and they get to Egg, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, little Egg runs in. And did you find it knowing now we know, I mean, again, this is not a spoiler. We know now that Egg is Aegon. You know, for those that didn't know, we know that Aegon reveals himself to save Dunk's life in that moment. But knowing now and looking back, knowing that Egg is Aegon, knowing that he could have jumped in at that moment and stopped his brother without going and getting dunked, does it make you wonder why he got dunked?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I'm so glad you did. We're same wavelength. I remember when I watched it, seeing what he did after the fact, I was like, why didn't you just do that? You could have told the guards to stop. You could have had your war of words with your brother. And yeah, your secret would have been out at that point, but Dunk wouldn't have known, would have found out eventually, probably because those people talk. But what made you run and go get Dunk? Essentially sentencing him to death almost. Like you had to know, but also you look at it and think Egg was so convinced that Dunk would do the right thing that he ran to go get him. But the other side of that coin is like you basically signed his death warrant when you ran in there and got him. Like why would you do that when you proved 30 seconds later that you could have stopped all of it? Like that, I wondered about that, and I don't really have an answer. I'm curious, kind of what you think.
I wonder if, again, we saw during the tourney him screaming, kill him. Um, Clearly,
Oh,
I wonder if he thought Dunk is so, well, one, you can tell he's already gobsmacked with this tan cell, and he is willing to stand up to anybody, you know, like he
yeah,
does snap, he doesn't realize he has that innocence about him and just does the right thing. And him being so much bigger than his brother is, did he think if he gets in there and kills my brother, good. Like I'm glad he's, then I could have saved Dunk's, like maybe then I'll jump in and save Dunk's life
yeah. After we've
after the
gotten rid
killing of,
of this menace, then when
right,
the King's Guard or when the guards come and tie him down, I can be like, wait a minute, wait a minute. As the authority Targaryen here, because my brother's dead, I'm stopping this. I didn't
right.
that could be it because yeah, he is 7 feet tall, so he probably that is probably the reason.
I think he expected him to get in there and kill him because again, it's crazy that he's to think that he could have stopped it at any point, but he really specifically wanted Dunk to stop it.
Yeah,
That he wanted him to tear through the tent and just lose it on his brother. Like
yeah.
there's no other like what else did he think the outcome of that would be?
Right, yeah,
Like
exactly. What did you think was going to happen? Like cause and
right.
effect. You go get Dunk. He has the girl of your dreams in a chokehold. What did you think was going to happen? Like that was all part of the plan.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think he was very much setting his brother up for a severe ass beating of epic proportions, if not killed. So yeah, so we finally reveal it finally reveals that little Aegon, steps in. He says right before he's what is it what movie is it that they curb stomp the guy's teeth out?
Oh,
History X, American History X.
American History X.
Okay, yeah. So they right before they curb stomp Dunk's teeth out, Aegon shows up and is like, "Hey, oh, you guys know me. Cut it out. This is it." And then it's kind of a big reveal that Aegon is a Targaryen. Dunk looks very hurt,
Yes.
like like what? Like you again,
Especially with what he just learned like 5 minutes before.
right? And like we've been spending all this time together, and you
Yeah.
never once like I've been, and it's like because he did he was very vulnerable. Vulnerable as don't can get because I think he just says things off the cuff. But when he says like people always accuse me of being stupid, I think it does play into that. Like you played me for a fool. Like
Yes.
you took advantage of my quote unquote stupidity this entire time. And I look stupid now teaching you these things that I assume you already know how, like, even though he didn't know how to whip stitch and he didn't know how to cook his own breakfast and all that kind of stuff. He's like, what am I doing? I'm showing you
Yeah.
these things that like of no importance, and you're pretending to, how do I know that you're really, really in wonderment of everything that I'm teaching you? And it
Right.
hasn't been like you just playing me along for a fool.
Yeah. I was your little summer charity project.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, the make a wish kid and like,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. Did you see the previews for next week?
I did not see the previews for next week. I started fast forwarding and then I went too fast. And my whole critique with HBO was like, when you try and fast forward or slow down, it just like everything gets jumbled. So I like jumped ahead too far. I went to rewind and I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna see it. This it's not meant for me to see this week.
All right, well, good. I'll be the bearer of bad news. So right now we're going to do a little bit of spoiler because, I mean, at least if you didn't see the preview, this is what we're going into. Is they, because of Dunk's punching, Arian to a severe. I mean, like he really manhandles him in that.
Yes.
Um, he is going to be challenged. The only way they're going to, because Aegon is sticking up for him. He's saying, "Hey, no, this is my bestie. Don't hurt him." But there has to be some sort of punishment for punching a prince. That there's going to be a trial by seven, and it's kind of where each side gets seven knights or seven people to fight for them. They don't have to be knights. They can be princes, kings, whatever. Seven people on each side, and that the gods will basically decide who's worthy through a combat. So then also, I think in the book, I think like Darian the drunk like accuses Dunk of like kidnapping Aegon, which obviously we know he did not, but it just kind of all
It
blow,
snowballs.
yeah, into this. Now the only way to settle this is by trial by seven, which of course Dunk has no idea what that is. He's like, let me in, what's all this about? And he's like, like you're gonna have seven champions on each side, and we're gonna basically fight to see what the result is in
Yeah.
this. And who's declared innocent and who the gods favor. So in this, you're going to have Duncan obviously on one hand, and you're going to have Prince Arian on the other hand. Now, do you want to know, at least in the book, who is on each side?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind because I'm looking at the episode so far and I'm trying to think based off what we've seen, the Apple guy will probably be on his side,
Sure,
and I think Antler Baratheon will be on his side. But
sure.
outside of that, Baratheon might bring some of his guys along, but I'm trying to think of people he's interacted with that would be willing to potentially put their life on the line.
Okay, so there was a reason that we were introduced to Robin Riesling.
Ah, yeah.
That episode is the one-eyed guy. Robin Riesling is going to be one of the guys. Humphrey Harding, I believe, who Arian says like, I'm not coming for you. This, I think he's going to,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Humphrey Harding, Humphrey Beesbury. I feel like I know we've been introduced to him, but I'm drawing a blank on Sir Humphrey Beesbury at the moment. You're right, Raymond Fossaway is going to be one of them. Lionel Baratheon is going to be another. But here might be the one that kind of surprises you is you're going to have Prince Baelor on Duncan's side. Yes.
Really?
Yes, Prince Baelor does choose Dunk's side to do this. And I think he kind of sees, again, Baelor tends to be a more level-headed one, tends to see through things, what things are. And to him, like, again, he's always wanting the Targaryen boys to act right.
I was gonna say I could actually that kind of makes sense to me. And if it's legal, you can
Right,
put hands on a prince in the trial of seven. Why not? Why not do it?
right. So, Prince Baelor is going to be on Dunk's side. Now, on Prince Arian's side, you have Prince Arian, obviously. You have his brother, Darian the Drunk. You're going to have the father, Maekar. Stefan Fossaway, who is Sir Raymond's brother, or yeah, the one that he see the bully, the one that slapped
Yeah.
him around. So, and then you have Sir William Wilde of the Kingsguard, Donald Duncansdale of the Kingsguard, and Roland Craighall of the Kingsguard. Two of those we've already met. I think one of them was in the background. I think they said in one of the episodes, we really haven't interacted with him, but three of the King's Guard, obviously, because you have Prince Maekar, Darian, and Prince Arian. So it's going to be those 14. And we're gonna, for everybody that's like too boring of a show, you're gonna get your fight scene here pretty soon. And
I
things
love it.
aren't gonna go well. So yeah,
I think Dunk survives. That's just my hot take, you know.
wow. Like,
Yeah, I know. Super risky hot take, but I think Dunk survives.
you think Gunn survives? That's amazing. Like, that's quite the I'll
Well, you
take
never know. They
that.
could Jon Snow him and then bring him back 2 episodes later.
That is true. However, I don't think they're going to. I think it's
There's no
probably
witches nearby.
yeah, I think that what we would call that is a sucker's bet if anybody bets against you.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, things aren't actually going to go very good. I know that there are a couple deaths that might get some people shooketh in it, but yeah, that's where we're heading into this next episode, which is pretty good, especially for people like yourself who don't know too much about the book and the
Yeah.
story and where we're going. I think it's I think it's really kind of good that we're getting this and we're going to see this and you're gonna get your big everybody's gonna get their big action scene. And again, it's kind of a nice place to be where you know that at least the two people that we enjoy the most out of this series, there's nothing's gonna happen to
Yeah,
them.
and it's like you had previously said, I think on the first or second episode, is it's nice watching a Game of Thrones show, knowing that the main characters that we're following aren't getting beheaded halfway through the first season.
Exactly.
It's a nice guarantee that we're not used to with the Game of
Right,
Thrones universe.
right. Now that won't keep us entirely from possibly losing people that we enjoy seeing,
Correct.
but at least we know with these two, like
With these specific people.
we're not going to see a child burned at the stake.
Yes, exactly. Which is another thing. Like, oh, what's a child? They wouldn't do that. No, they would. They would. We've seen it before.
In first episodes, we've seen this child shoved out of a tree. I mean, like out of a building. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It had a lot. It had, it had team building at the beginning. It had some fighting in the middle. It had some action scenes. It had some good talks, deep talks between people.
A very
And
well-rounded episode.
yeah, and then you have your nice big character reveal at the end. So
Yeah.
your takeaways from that.
Uh, I really, really liked the episode. Like you said, it hit everything. It had the warm, heartfelt, wholesome moments. It had the action. It had the dialogue. It had the suspense. It is showing you that you can tell a good story. And yes, we did have the jousting scene, but you can still tell a very good story without, again, having explosions and blood and guts every 30 seconds. Like, this was just a good episode. It moved the story forward. It introduced characters that we are going to care about going forward. It checked all the boxes. It did everything. My only critique is I wish it was longer, but I also respect the fact that they are shrinking them down to 30 minutes because that's something, again, that they haven't really done before. So I really enjoyed the episode and it has me excited to see what happens next.
I agree, and I agree with you. Even I will say, even in the jousting scene, we got a lot of context that came out of those
Yes.
scenes, not just popcorn action, which yes, you did get, but you got a lot of like insight into society just in those scenes with again about how Aryan views were if my father's not watching, then I'm going to misbehave. Baylor's
Hmm.
reaction to Aryan, Arian's reaction to the crowd, Baylor's reaction to the crowd, like just all
The
of
crowd's
that.
reaction to Arian doing what he did.
Exactly right. Like you got so much out of just even those few minutes of that scene of just how the society functions with the Targaryens in it and their place in it.
Yeah.
Again, that they feel comfortable to throw horse poop at him and charge him, like that's crazy. Like you would have never seen that
Not a
in
chance. Like all of you would have been dead. Like had you done that in House of the
Joffrey's
Dragon.
scene.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, you do that to any royal family, like no one is walking away from that field alive.
No, no. Like the only reason like the crowd got away with it when Cersei was, walked in with her walk of shame was because at that time, the church was more in power than the Targaryens were. So I
Correct.
mean, like, but again, that's like I said, in even these action scenes, we've got so much context and so much story out of how it just everything's going on right now, and that didn't have to be said and talked to us through like an exposition and dialogue. We got it right there
Yep.
where the Targaryens are right now in society and how people feel about them. So really great episode. I think I don't know how high it's rated. I would imagine it's probably one of the higher ones as far
I
as
looked right, yeah, 9.1.
yeah. I would have to imagine it's just one of the better ones so far this season. And if you haven't watched it, go out there and watch it. It's a great scene. You could watch that one. You could start number 3 and get everything you need to know. You could jump in,
Honestly, yeah.
which is kind of great. Is like so far you really haven't needed to be like, oh my god, do I need to watch? I mean, it's only going to be 8 episodes, but here we are. So full confession. Now that we've done that, I have not finished Wonder Man yet. I've been pretty busy. I think I have 1.5 episodes left. So I'm there. I'm getting there. But so far, just how do you feel about it? I know you're waiting for me to see it, but I mean, just you can just kind of give me a hint on what you think so
I very much enjoyed it.
far. Okay.
It is very different. It is way more cinematic than you would have expected from a Marvel show. Not to say they haven't done that before, because I believe Loki was cinematic as well.
Sure.
Um, but it is way more grounded, which I think is what the Marvel Spotlight things are meant to do. The other Spotlight was Echo. That was a more grounded series. However, the execution of Echo was terrible.
Right.
I think the way that they framed, wrote, shot this show was really, really good. I have a few criticisms, but I'll wait till you get to the end. But my one criticism that isn't with the show itself is with Disney Corporation. I'm talking to the mouse right now. Quit writing shows about minorities and then not marketing them and then not standing behind your show and then just shoving it out there and not telling anyone about it, because you've done it with Ironheart, you're doing it with this one. And while I know Ironheart had mixed reviews, I think overall it was a decent story, but you gave us 3 and 3 episodes and they were each an hour long. So you gave us 3 hours of content. That was a lot. And then this one, you shoved all 6 episodes at us, and it's very interesting because it's gotten such high marks that after the fact, now that it's out, I'm seeing posts about it on all Disney platforms. They're telling you to go watch it. They're tweeting about it, Instagram stories. You didn't do any of this before because you didn't believe in it. And now when people have come out and said they really liked it, now you're like, oh yeah, of course, of course. And he's gonna be on Jimmy Kimmel
Absolutely.
next week. Yeah, no, we knew you were gonna love it. Like, stop it. Like, that is
Yeah,
my
we've seen
main criticism.
a lot more like them promoting the Rotten Tomatoes. Like, and
Yes.
I don't even know what it's rated in as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes. I just know that it's
It's pretty high. I don't
yeah,
know
it was
what the exact
certified.
numbers, but it's up there. Like the high,
Yeah,
I think it's like the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes show ever. Or for sorry, for Marvel,
Marvel
which
doesn't surprise me.
it doesn't surprise me, but I also feel like Loki was just so good. I really, really liked this show, but I think Loki as a whole still stands alone. But I would put this, I could argue this one was second.
Sure.
But you just look at the promotion for it. Like legit, and we talked back in December. This show came out in January. In December, we talked about how we had not seen anything about it.
Yeah.
That annoys me.
It especially with the um level of actors that you had in this.
Yes.
Like that's insane to me. I mean, like
Just having Ben Kingsley, just Ben Kingsley.
friggin' Gandhi of all. I mean,
Right.
I mean, he was in Schindler's List? Like, what are
Yeah,
we doing here? Like,
insane. Insane that we have Ben Kingsley and not just as a side character. He is very much at the forefront, and y'all couldn't even be bothered to talk about it until after it became a hit, and now you're standing behind it and hyping it up, and you have the actors going on again, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy whatever Jimmy Kimmel, whichever one Disney owns, are doing all that, and it's like you couldn't do this before to promote the show like you do for all of your other stuff. But I think
Getting
it's
there. I swear we will do a short little episode on this.
anyway, yeah, I
I
could
just
go on about it.
at the me taking so long to get through it has it bears no feeling on what I think about the show. That
Yeah,
has not like one does not equate to the other. It has just been again. It's this time of year is just such a it is such a slug to just do
for
anything
sure.
right now. That is me falling on my sword. So it has nothing to do with yesterday. I watched two or three episodes, I think, and I will finish it up today. So we
Did you
will
watch the
get.
Doorman episode?
I did. I did. Josh Gad, yes. Yeah,
J-Gad?
Gad, yes, I did. I've enjoyed it. And there was a time yesterday, I mean, like, and I could say this for the next episode, and I'll say it again then, but just sitting there and watching Ben Kingsley be in this Marvel universe. There was a part where he was in the car and they're having a just mind blow, like just everything he's done in his career, and to be sitting there and being like, and that he takes it. He's not phoning in these performances on this
Correct.
show. Now he's not like, well, he's not doing like, well, he's not thinking like Martin Scorsese, like, we're this just throwaway superheroes. I mean, like he is giving it all. I mean, he is doing such a good job. Like it just maybe he just can't help himself. Like he's just so good that it's like
Right.
like even him phoning it in is just amazing, like
Yeah.
but it's so good. I am enjoying it, but we will do an episode on that. We promise. It's just yeah, it's just
Yeah.
trying to get I'm not saying trying to get through it like it's such a chore, but just adding it into the list of everything.
No, I definitely get it. Honestly, I was able to watch it all because it just happened to be during a weekend where I didn't have a whole lot going on. So we were able to just like lock in and watch it. But I definitely get it. Take your time.
Yeah, right. So we will have that out. We'll have this one up. Think enjoying. Look forward to the trial by seven, trial seven, the trial of seven
They didn't
again.
even have the name of the next episode out yet. It's just episode 4.
Probably because of what is coming. I would imagine that it might be, trial of seven or something to that effect. And I think
I
they
mean,
might.
the bio says Dunk angers the Targaryens and demands trial by combat. When Aerion calls for a trial by 7, Dunk must find 6 words to join him in battle. So like the bio is there. It just says season 1, episode 4.
So I mean
Oh,
that the next episode might even just be him trying to just gather up who
that
he's
could
going
be
with.
it. Yeah, pleading
Because
his case to people. Also, there's only 6 episodes, not 8.
of this. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, we
so
are
we're halfway.
all right. Okay, so there were 8 of Wonder Man and 6 of
Yes,
this. Okay. All right. Well, we'll be closing in on this very, very soon then. Yeah.
February 22nd will be the finale.
Yeah, and remember the next episode comes out on Friday because of
Yes,
Super Bowl on Sunday. And also it kind of coincides also with the opening of the Olympics. So try to squeeze it all in and really kind of enjoy yourself this weekend.
yes.
So lots of good to watch. So yeah. We will see you all later. Bye.